Today, we will introduce you to the Veteran Services Division of the Arizona Department of Veterans Services. Our guide is John Scott, Assistant Deputy Director. John provides management oversight of the Veteran Services Division, which includes the Veteran Benefit Counseling Offices, or VBCs, the State Approving Agency, or SAA, and the State Veteran Memorial Cemeteries. Let's review each department so that you will have a better understanding of the services provided by the ADVS Veteran Services Division. John, who are the Veteran Benefit Counselors and what do they do?
I am very fortunate to work with 29 highly skilled veteran benefit counselors who are located throughout our state. The Arizona Department of Veterans Services currently has 17 full-time staffed offices, and we also provide periodic services to 20 additional locations throughout the state. We cover the length and breadth of Arizona, from Page to Sierra Vista, from Yuma to Window Rock. We provide services to several tribal communities, including the Navajo, Hopi, Salt River, and Pima. The primary goal of our Veterans Benefit Counselors is to provide the information and assistance necessary to ensure our Arizona veterans are afforded the opportunities and entitlements described by Title 38 of the United States Code. This includes compensation for injury sustained while on active duty, pensions for wartime era veterans, death and burial benefits, dependency indemnity compensation, and assistance with reopening previously denied claims with new evidence. The VBCs also provide representation during hearings held by the Board of Veteran Appeals on claims that have been appealed by veterans. VBCs undergo an in-depth week-long training followed by a 200-question test that, upon successful completion, provides them with the accreditation necessary to act as a power of attorney for veterans and to represent those veterans before the Veterans Benefit Administration. VBCs also complete over 200 hours of on-the-job training and must complete monthly quizzes to stay current on federal regulations. Here are a couple of common scenarios in which our VBCs often support our veteran clients.
Scott, I'm about 6 months away from being discharged. I want to file a claim for issues that happened while I was in Afghanistan. Do you think I should file a claim now or wait till I'm discharged?
That's a great question, Christy. First and foremost, I want to thank you for your service. To answer your question, you can file a VA claim at least 180 days before your discharge, or you can wait until after you're discharged from the military. Do you want to file a claim today?
Yes, I would. Could you please explain the process to me?
Yes. The first thing you want to do is to obtain a power of attorney organization that's recognized by the Secretary of Veterans Affairs to assist you in preparation, presentation, and prosecution of claims under laws administered by the Department of Veterans Affairs. We will use the Form 21-22 to appoint the Arizona Department of Veterans Services as your claimant representative. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. The application form that we use is for VA compensation is VA Form 21-526EZ. And I can assist you in completing and submitting that form today. To complete the form, I will need to ask you for demographic information such as your address, telephone number, date of birth, social security number. Also military information such as your branch of service, dates of service, any awards or medals that you might have, and your rank. I will then list the disabilities on the form that you are claiming. And I'll ask you about what treatment facilities and dates of treatments that you had for these disabilities. We'll also need your banking information. The VA only allows direct deposit, or they issue a direct express card, but they do not allow paper checks anymore.
Sounds great.
Sounds great? Okay, let's get started.
All right.
Here is another common questions veterans have for our VBCs.
So Gary, I got this letter in the mail from the VA the other day. I think it's an award letter, but I'm not sure. Can you explain it to me?
Sure. Well, it's good to see you again, Chrissy. How have you been?
I've been good, thank you.
Well, you are correct. This is a VA decision letter. And they did grant service-connected disability for you. Your current overall rating is 30% service-connected disability. The VA is paying you as a veteran with one dependent. This letter also goes into, if you're unhappy with your decision, your appellate rights. So if you chose to go into appeals process. Otherwise, looks like a good decision. Do you have any questions for me?
None right now. I think that makes a little more sense. Thank you.
Okay.
So Gary, I'm still a little confused on one issue. I thought I was going to get more money for my compensation. Right now with what I'm going through due to my disabilities, I am having a hard time working. Is there anything the VA can do or you guys can do to help me with that?
Well, we can look at it, Chrissy. The VA does offer a program called Unemployability or Individual Unemployability. Mm-hmm. However, it's based on service-connected disabilities, and there is a criteria for that. And currently, based on your 30% overall rating, you don't meet that criteria. The criteria is you have to have one service-connected disability at 60% or one disability rating at 40% with a combined rating of 70%. But we can look at something else. It's called extra schedule consideration. If a doctor feels that that 30% is not allowing you to work, we may be able to pursue the individual unemployability. However, we may also want to look at something called, what we call it a reconsideration. Okay. Can we get new material medical evidence to support that your current medical condition is worse than what the VA said on your last exam? If that's the case, maybe we can get your claim increased to a higher percentage from 30% and possibly look at the individual unemployability. Does that answer your question?
I think so. I definitely need to think about it.
Okay.
You know, Gary, thank you so much for your time today. I think I do want to pursue the reconsideration you were talking about. I'll get back in touch with you when I have that new medical evidence.
Okay, well, you're very welcome. But just remember that you have 1 year from the date of your decision letter to file what we call a notice of disagreement, which would start the appeals process. It's very important. If you get to that year mark without filing a notice of disagreement or that reconsideration that we were talking about, the claim becomes closed, and we'd have to reopen the claim based on new material evidence. And we don't want to do that. Okay? I'd just like to say thank you for your service to our country, and remember, we're here to serve you.
Thank you.
All right.
You may not know that in the last federal fiscal year, our VBCs had more than 410,000 communication contacts with local veterans. We filed over 5,400 claims on behalf of those veterans. These monumental efforts helped contribute to the 110,000 Arizona veterans that are receiving VA benefits, with an average monthly entitlement of $1,522 per veteran. Each year, VA expenditures in Arizona reach nearly $1.7 billion, going towards compensation and pension for veterans, providing housing stability for veterans, and stimulating our state's economy. The State Approving Agency, or SAA, also falls under the Veteran Services Division. The SAA team is comprised of a director and 3 veteran education and training specialists. The SAA is authorized by Title 38 of the United States Code. Each state has a SAA, which is responsible for ensuring the quality and integrity of programs of education and training for use of GI Bill benefits. Benefits may be used in high schools, adult education centers, employers who provide on-the-job training, apprenticeship training, license and certification testing, vocational training, as well as certificate and degree levels of post-secondary education, both public and private. The SAA initiates approval for GI Bill benefits for new facilities in Arizona and conducts compliance surveys. They also initiate the approval of all new programs at private, for-profit institutions, and they conduct an annual review of their catalogs.
The mission of the SAA is to promote and safeguard quality education and training for veterans, ensure greater educational and training opportunities to meet the changing needs of veterans, and to protect GI Bill resources for those programs by assisting the VA in preventing fraud, waste, and abuse in the administration of the GI Bill. The SAA currently works with over 400 schools and facilities throughout the state of Arizona.
In addition to the VBCs and the SAA, the state veteran cemeteries come under the responsibility of the Veteran Services Division. Joe Larson is our cemetery administrator for Southern Arizona Veterans Memorial Cemetery, which is located in Sierra Vista. Joe, please tell us a little bit about the cemeteries.
The Arizona State Veterans Cemetery provides a lasting benefit in honor of veterans and their families with a final resting place, in appreciation and gratitude for their service and their sacrifice to our nation. The Sierra Vista Cemetery groundbreaking ceremony was held October 1st, 2001, with interments beginning December 2001. The Southern Arizona Veterans Cemetery sits on 145 acres of land, which was donated by Fort Huachuca.
Thanks, Joe. In addition to the Southern Arizona Veterans Memorial Cemetery, there are two new cemeteries that are being built. One in Marana, just north of Tucson, and the other located at Camp Navajo, which is in Belmont, just west of Flagstaff. The Marana Cemetery dedication is scheduled for March 26th, while the Camp Navajo dedication is set for June 4th. Now, Joe Larson will review how veterans qualify for burial in a state veterans cemetery and what their families can expect.
Hi, Tara, how can I help you today?
I was just wondering if you could kind of give me an overall general idea of what to expect with my father's services.
Well, this is a benefit. This is the ultimate benefit for veterans. It's the final benefit. This is a veteran cemetery which acts just like a national cemetery. There's literally no difference as far as the protocols. What we provide is the headstone, the marker, the gravesite, and a committal service if you want, and we can help you with military honors.
What about flowers? Are we able to bring flowers?
Yes, you can bring flowers. On the first day you can bring as many flowers as you want, and we generally take about four arrangements down to the gravesite. Afterwards, going forward, there is a floral policy which is on our ADVS website, which usually consists of 2 arrangements not to exceed 24 inches high.
Okay. Now, if in future and my mother passes, is there any way that she could be buried alongside my father?
Well, actually, she'll be buried with your father. The grave sites, including the niches and the in-ground crypts, they are constructed to where at least 2 people can be fit in there. What we'll do is I'll ask for your copy of the marriage license or certificate from the marriage, and what we do is we hold on to that information, and at the time your mom's passing, we will have her already verified.
Is there any type of flag ceremony? What's entailed specifically with the service itself?
Well, the military honors, under public law, the United States Armed Services provides military honors for each one of the branches of service. So depending on the branches of service, they tend to do their own little flair to the types of military honors they provide. The Army and the Air Force, as an example, they have a very structured military honors that they perform with the flag folding, and they present different documents. But in essence, what they do is that particular branch of service will come down and provide full military honors. The flag is something that is usually your responsibility to pick it up. You can get it from the funeral home director or at a local post office, actually. And the services generally take about 15 minutes for military honors to complete, depending if it's full military honors or if it's regular military honors. We do have a committal shelter, and the committal shelter is just that, is your final committal service. It's not a funeral service, and that's usually held at a funeral home or a church. The committal service is about 20 minutes long, and immediately after the service, we'll generally we'll take the remains straight over to the graveside area. So, is your father? Are you planning to have him casketed or cremated?
In a casket.
In a casket. Okay. So what you need to do is you'll need to contact the funeral home director, and they will contact me and help me with the arrangements and the dates. So what I'm going to do today is I'll give you some information to take back. I'm going to need a copy of his discharge paperwork, a copy of the marriage license for your mom, so I can make her eligible when the time comes and we don't have to look for that later. And then what I want you to do is work with the funeral home director so that we don't cross our lines, and she or he will report to me with those documents. And she'll help you also with setting up military honors and requesting clergy if you want clergy. So, and on the day of the service, what we're going to do is we have a committal shelter staging area, and I'll give you a map to show you where you guys need to stage. And the funeral home director will know where to go too. So once you get there, then what I'll do is I'll go over some last minute documents with you in case we're missing something. And I'm going to probably want you to review the monument format sheet to ensure that what we're going to put on the marker is correct, because we want to order this just once. And then immediately following the service, we'll go ahead and order the marker and get the VA provided marker down here, and we'll install it.
Okay, thank you.
So meanwhile, I'm going to give you my business card.
Okay.
On our website, there's a couple videos that shows you the process of what a committal service is supposed to go with a casket and without a casket. Those are very good movies. If you have any questions, please contact me about any of the process.
Thank you so much for your help today.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Joe. This concludes our overview of the Veterans Services Division. We hope you found this helpful in understanding what our division does within the Arizona Department of Veterans Services. Thank you again for your service to our country. Now we are here for you. And now I would like to introduce ADVS Director, Colonel Wanda Wright.
Hello everyone. I want to thank John and his staff members who assisted in providing this overview of the Veterans Services Division. In the future, we plan to offer you additional presentations on the services provided by all the major divisions of the Arizona Department of Veterans Services. It is our pleasure to serve Arizona veterans and their families. We are indeed here for you. Thanks so much for watching.